What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. False Black Bear here. Today I'm going to cover an upcoming Warbond. Typically I don't do this, but I had some free time today and the weather's kind of crappy, so might as well make a video. So we have the Python Commanders. It's a premium Warbond, which means it'll be the same price as everything else, which is 1,000 super credits, and you get 300 super credits back in the war bond itself. This is expected to launch on December 2nd. And as you can see, very similar to the Viper Commandos war bond, that jungle theme, the Rambo and Predator inspired war bond. I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good. I hope that this war bond is better than the Viper Commandos because I thought that one was extremely underwhelming, borderline bad outside of the experimental infusion booster. So let's get right into it, shall we? Right here we have the armor sets. We have the RS-40, which is the heavy armor set, and the RS-20. I don't know when Arrowhead started to take one armor set out and put it in the store, but I don't like it. I think it's very anti-consumer, and we're just getting less. We're still spending 1,000 super credits, but now instead of 3 armor sets, we're getting 2. And then we have to spend an additional 500 or so, give or take, super credits to buy the other armor set and the helmet and the cape and the banner and all that kind of stuff. I just don't really like it. You guys might not have a problem with it. I think it's kind of sleazy, but it is what it is. I do think the RS-40 looks better. I've always been a fan of how the heavy armor looks. They just have more pouches, more, magazine and just equipment on them. I think it looks cool. It looks more tactical. I don't like this white face mask though. We've got this OD green and brown camo, and then we've got some accents of red, and then we just have this bright white face mask. And that just doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. I don't know who thought that looked good, but whatever. And then this one, the light armor, looks a little plain. I don't know. It's okay. This helmet looks similar to the helmet that has the red beret on it, so it's very familiar. It's all right. The armor passive, however, is intriguing. It's called Rock Solid, and this reduces ragdolling. Now, I don't know if everything is still going to ragdoll you, but the severity is less, where you're not going to slide across the ground for 75 meters. Or if there's things that maybe would have barely knocked you down, but if you wear this armor, it doesn't knock you down anymore. So I'm thinking an instance like you're standing behind a rocket sentry, and the blowback from the rocket, sometimes that can knock you over if you're standing too close. I'm wondering if this armor will stop that from happening. I'm sure if you stand on top of a grenade that a flying overseer throws, that's not going to stop you. If it does, that'll be insane. I don't think it will. This is Arrowhead, and Arrowhead does Arrowhead things. So I think it'll reduce it. Regardless, though, even if this reduces the ragdolling by 25% or 50%, I think that's going to be pretty good. So I'm actually excited about this armor passive. Getting to the primary weapon, the AR-GL21. Okay, assault rifle with obviously a grenade launcher underneath it. I'm hoping that this grenade launcher is equivalent to the support weapon grenade launcher, right? The grenades are the same. I hope they have the same demo force, the same area of effect, explosion radius, damage, all that. If they don't, I am going to be a little upset about that. I also hope that we get a decent amount of ammo. If we get 4 rounds, I don't think this is going to be worth it. If we get 8 rounds or 10 rounds or 12 rounds, that'll be freaking dope. And I think that would definitely separate this thing from other assault rifles, and I think it could be very valuable. We'll just have to wait and see. Data miners have suggested that this is light armor pen. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. But because it's light armor pen, this thing has to be doing a lot of damage per shot, because I'm looking at this little magazine here, this little stumpy magazine. That does not look very big to me. Okay, that is 30 rounds, maybe 35 rounds on the high end. And if this thing is light armor pen, like, I understand we have a grenade launcher underneath, but I'm sorry, like, the damage has to be good if we're getting very little ammo. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to harp too much or complain too much. Right now, I have mixed feelings about this. I think it's going to be okay, but I don't think it's going to be phenomenal. The M1000 Maxi Gun finally, after 2 years, nearly 2 years of waiting and asking for this, we finally get it. The data miners again suggest that this is going to have medium armor pen. Thank God. If this thing had light armor pen, which would be a very Arrowhead thing to do, this would be a disaster. This would be a stalwart that took up a backpack slot. Yikes. So I'm going to assume that Arrowhead is not completely retarded and they have some competency and that they made this thing medium armor pen. I think this thing, if it truly is medium pen, this thing could be phenomenal, especially with the boys. You get 4 people rocking this thing against something like the Predator strain. Oh my goodness, that could be a fantastic time. So I'm hoping that they don't completely gut this thing by giving it terrible ergonomics, right? Like if this thing handles twice as worse as the Eruptor, nobody's going to use this. I did see the barrels getting red and orange. I hope there's not an overheating mechanic where it's like, oh, if you shoot too long, the gun overheats and then you got to wait like 5 seconds, or it has like almost like the scythe or the laser cannon. I just want to shoot this thing. Don't cap me like none of the other machine guns overheat. Don't let this one overheat. I pray to God they don't do some dumb shit mechanics like that, because then that could really cap this thing into making it great. So I hope it has a fast fire rate, or at least a fire rate that you can manipulate like the other machine guns. I hope the ergonomics are not too terrible. And yeah, I hope it doesn't overheat. So let's pray for that. Getting over to the CQC9, the defoliation tool. I just got to say it right now, boys. This thing has to be heavy armor pen. If it's not, it's going to be useless. Like, I can shoot a Hulk in the eye with the railgun from 200 meters away. With this thing, I got to walk right up to it. So right off the bat, compared to a lot of other guns in the game, right? It already has a downside because we got to go up to the enemies. So if this thing is anything less than heavy armor, it's going to be quite literally useless. Especially against the bots, because they can just snipe you from, a quarter mile away. So it has to be heavy armor pen. I want this thing to be fun. And if this 3-foot long chainsaw has the same armor pen as the Saber, that's going to be dumb. So let's just hope that it has heavy armor pen. I just think it would be so cool to go up to a Charger and to cut through that heavy armor pen, or to go up behind a Hulk and just start chainsawing into its arm or leg or back and be able to break through that armor. That would be so fun. It would be so unique. It would put this stratagem in a completely different category, and it could promote a completely different style of play, which I think as a community, we all should be wanting and striving for, is more diversity in play, right? Everybody's bringing the recoilless rifle, or everybody's bringing the railgun, right? I think this could be cool. Get up close, tear into the enemies, promote this different style of gameplay. I'm all for it, but it has to be heavy armor pen, or else it's going to be dead on arrival. So let's hope Arrowhead stops being Arrowhead for like 5 minutes and creates a good weapon. The AX Flam 75 Guard Dog Hot Dog, something else we've been asking for a long time now. It looks literally just like a torture attached to a drone, which I'm okay with. But I think they have to give this guard dog, or this hot dog, the same AI as the dog breath. I think it has to go out and seek enemies and torch them, because just like the dog breath, they both have very limited range. So in order to compensate, they have to travel a little bit to set enemies on fire. If this thing just sits above you like the standard guard dog or the guard dog rover, I don't think it's going to be very effective at all. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I also hope that the canisters are a lot larger than the standard torture. I hope they're 1.5 to 2 times as large. If they're larger, great. But I think they do have to be a little bit bigger. And I hope we get a decent amount of refuelings before we run out of that ammo. Getting to the patterns, the chameleon camo, it looks fine. It is what it is. It's just aesthetic. I don't really care about patterns at all. The capes and the player banners look very similar to the Viper Commandos, which is not a bad thing, but it's just kind of more familiar stuff that we already have in the game. The emote, the front-leaning rest position, I think this is kind of a cool emote. Your Helldiver is doing push-ups. I think that's cool. That's funny. And I think that's, a fine addition to the game. And then finally, we have the Python Commando player title. All right, that is it. The Python Commando Warbond coming out December 2nd. Thought I'd just cover it real quick for you guys. Let's have a conversation down below. What we think is going to be good or what we think is going to be bad. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.